Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome to our first flight with the final release version of the JustFlight Fokker 100. Today we are going to take our Fokker from Geneva to Nice on a quick 40-minute sightseeing flight along the Alps. Now, this is a daily flight operated by Swiss, and we are just about ready to go. So follow me inside, and we can start with a quick check of our flight plan before we finish up our pre-flight preparations here for an on-time departure. Now, the first thing you will notice that's different between my earlier pre-release version and the final release is that I'm no longer asked for my lock-on credentials here from SimBrief. It's doing that automatically now, and an on-time departure is going to lead to an on-time arrival. We are not critical with our weights, more than enough margin everywhere, cruising in flight level 230. Then let's scroll down to the weather, and we've got beautiful weather at our arrival airport, and then our alternate is looking fantastic as well. Now, with all of that in mind, let's scroll right back up and decide on our fuel. Now, 4,301 plus 204 is our minimum fuel. Let's make that 4.6 though, so that we've got sufficient for the APU as well. Because it's pretty hot, currently 26 degrees outside, and we definitely don't want to work in the sweaty heat up here. Alright, so with that in mind, let's go right down into the aircraft menu, import our SimBrief payload, and for the fuel, let's make that 2,300 on each tank, like that and like that. Okay, enter, we are going to do a realistic refueling here. Let's go ahead and start that, and at the same time we can also go ahead and call for catering services already, so that we do have some more water on board of our plane. Alright, and with that we are ready to go with the power-up procedures, which is circuit breakers checked in, the fuel levers are shut, landing is selected down, battery is coming online. And that's looking good. Then let's turn the external power on. Let's go ahead and switch the IRSs on. 1 and 2. And then we can arm the emergency lights, do the APU fire test. That is looking good. And then let's go ahead and start that APU straight away. Okay, so nav lights coming on. Emergency equipment is all on board. Oxygen. Test it on that side and test it on that side. Let's bring on our MFDs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Here we go. Alright then, up to the test panel. Let's do the rest of the tests here. Engine number 1 fire, and that is looking good. And look at that, now the procedure also goes away once you release the engine fire test switch. That is something we had to click away manually in the pre-release. That's fixed now. Okay, cargo fire is looking good. Then we got the annunciators, and those are looking good. Then we can do the GPWS.
Pull up. Terrain,
okay.
Terrain, pull up.
And that should be it. Alright, now warning system test. And while that's in progress, let's turn on the CDR and let's test it. And that's all looking good as well. Alright, so with that we've done the most important stuff of our pre-flight over here. Catering is currently in progress, let him do that, and while that's happening... I think we don't need the analog panel. While that's happening, let's go down into the FMS. Fokker 28 Mark 100, Thai 620 engines, nav database is up to date. Now for the flight initialization, we're going from Lima Sierra Golf Golf to Lima Fox Mike November. Let's go ahead and import that flight plan. Here we go, SimBrief company route loaded. Can align the IRS, cost NX30, flight level 230 is looking good. winds and temperatures have been imported. The rest is going to be for later. For now, we just had to align that IRS. And one quick thing that I am going to do here is to release the control lock and apply it again, so that the control column doesn't block the view of the navigation display. Okay then, let's go over our panel. And this is really just the standard panel scan flow. How about the fuel? Is done. Then we can turn the seatbelt sign on. Alright, up here everything's looking good. Over here everything is looking good. Departure field elevation is 1400. And then over here, what's that temperature inside? 25, 26. Yeah, that's gonna get better soon now that the APU is running. Okay, so let's continue up here. We are on QNH. We take a 15-mile range. Thank you. That's looking good. Flight directors are coming on. Initial climb to be confirmed. And over here, that stuff is set as well. Then let's align that standby horizon like this, and then we can have a look down here at the OFP again. Meta refresh, where we got a QNH of 1021. Like this. Alright, the rest on the main panel is set. Then moving down here, 1021 on both sides, looking good. Let's also turn the backlights up everywhere, and then we are already moving down. We want to listen to VHF 1 and 2 for our frequencies. Let's have a look into the airport charts. So, departure, Lima Sierra Golf Golf, taxi chart. So, 8 is 135.58. Like that. Then we need 1 to 1.5. Like that. What else do we have? Delivery has no specific frequency, so it's going to be ground, 1 to 168. Like that, and finally we also have a tower on 118.705. Like that. Alright, frequencies are set. Weather radar can go on weather and turbulence. Squawk machine 2000, standby above. Then let's go on to the flight ID. And that's gonna be Swiss Niner Hotel. And here it is. So, Swiss Nine Hotel is in here, Squawk 2000 is in there, all the rest's looking good.
Initial contact, you have information Quebec.
Well then, let's get the weather.
Geneva report. Information Quebec. 0550 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 22. Wind calm. Cav OK. Temperature 25. Dew point 17. QNH 1021. Transition level 80. Medical helicopter on priority landing. Expect delays in approach. Advise on initial contact, you have information Quebec. Geneva report. Information Quebec. 0550 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 22. Wind calm. Cav OK. Temperature 25, dew point 17. QNH 1021. Transition level 80. Medical helicopter on priority landing. Expect delays in approach. Advise on initial contact, you have information Quebec.
Okay, so Atus Quebec is on board. Let's put that thing away again. Alright, so runway 22 is in use, wind calm. K 25, that's all looking good. Alright, then let's get going. So we are departing from Geneva, runway 22. And our departure is the Deadpool 1 Alpha departure. That's all looking good. And then for the arrival into Nice, we are looking at an ILS Zulu approach, runway 04 left. And we've got the Abdil 8 Romeo arrival. And we can insert that. Alright, now let's go ahead and have a look at that departure. So, Geneva, sit. And that is the Deadpool 1 Alpha. Okay, so straight ahead, Paisserie. When passing 7,000, but not before Papa Alpha Sierra. Proceed to Argus above level 130. And then Deadpool above level 150. So we got 1900, Paisserie 7000, Argus, Deadpool. That looks good to me. And on the flight plan, that indeed looks exactly like what we're expecting. Let's have a quick look over the rest of our route. And that actually looks good as well. Alright, cool. So that's that stuff. Then let's go for the performance initialization. Block fuel 4.6. Zero fuel weight 33.7. And that leads to a takeoff weight of 38.1. The rest of that stuff is looking good. And final reserve fuel is going to be 1. Like that, resulting in 12 minutes extra. That's looking good. Alright then, let's go back to the taxi chart. We want the airport chart. And looking at runway 22, we could surely take intersection Bravo. So let's see what that is. 22 from Bravo, 2,600, so a shortening of 1,300 meters. Okay, with that in mind, let's go into the performance. Departing from Geneva. Metric runway, shortening by 1,300 meters. Oh, wrong runway. Anyway, that's good. And all that is looking good. For the weather, it's wind calm, so yeah. We're just gonna take that. 1021, 28 already. And takeoff weight is 38.1. Okay, that seems to look quite good. Calculate. Flaps 0, 46 degrees, 323239. Alright, so like this. 46 degrees flex. Like that, and then we just gotta find out the noise abatement procedure, which I'm going to get from Blackbox 711's web app. He's just doing a fantastic job, he really is. And his noise abatement procedure 1, so acceleration in 4,411. Okay, that looks fantastic. So, standard climb looking good, and that's all we're gonna need. On the progress page, Lima, Sierra, Golf, Golf 2-2 in case of an immediate return. The rest is looking good, and we can tune a couple of nav aids, of course. So basically just Papa Alpha Sierra. Okay, good. So, then we got all that stuff. Let's see about the initial climb. So, contact departure when instructed. Initial climb, flight level 90. Okay. So that's all looking good. Then I'd say we can go right for our IFR clearance. And we are Swiss 9 Hotel on Geneva ground. No data link over here. So that's all looking good. Geneva ground, Swiss 9 Hotel, information, Quebec, request IFR clearance to Nice. Swiss 9 Hotel is cleared to Nice via the Depot 1 Alpha, departure runway 22, climb 5000, departure 119.53, squawk 5516. Oh, come on. That altitude selector is a little... Here we go, that's better. Okay, so we've got runway 22, Depot 1 Alpha is confirmed, climbing 5000, squawk 5516. And the departure 119.53. Okay, fantastic. That's all looking good. So then we can go for the departure briefing. Okay, so we're going to depart from Geneva's runway 22, and it's going to be a Depot 1 Alpha departure. Initial climb of 5,000, MSA much higher than that. In the south up to 10,000, in the departure sector not that much of a problem. Extra fuel and time we have 0. Respectively 12 minutes according to the FMS. Now, for our taxi out, there are no hotspots, and the SID is straight, or rather the engine outset, I should say, is straight ahead to 2 DME southwest of Papa Alpha Sierra, and then a left turn to Sabre and hold, and we're going to climb to 7,000. That's going to keep us safe over there. So 2 DME southwest basically means straight to Sierra, to Papa Alpha Sierra, then another 2 DME, and then a left turn back to Sabre. Okay, now, for our normal departure, we've got no specials, no non-standards, and I have only one threat, which is the terrain, and we're going to mitigate against that by looking out of the window and not flying into it. That's a good thing about clear sky conditions, really no problems at all there. Okay, do you have any questions? Nope? Alright, then we're done with our departure briefing. Now, I just noticed that I forgot to start the boarding on GSX here. So let's just turn off GSX handling for a second. Go to boarding, and then I'm just gonna go for instant. Alright, start boarding.
Boarding is complete.
Thank you. So, zero fuel weight 33.7 final. And that's looking good. And then we've got a takeoff weight of 38.1 as expected. That is also looking good. Then let's go ahead and disconnect the external power unit. I think this is taxi out gate. So we can prepare for push and departure. That should remove the jetway all on their own, I think. Yes, it does. Now, just a quick check. Can we taxi out over here? Yes, we can. If that jetway doesn't remain within the marked area, we can simply taxi out. Yeah, that is alright. Okay, cool. So let's undo the jetway configuration. Let's fold up that door, and then we can remove the chocks as well. Parking brake is set. So, flight deck door armed, chocks removed. let's say hello to our guests and then we're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel from... In the name of Swiss, I'd like to welcome you all aboard our Fokker 100 on our flight to Nice. We'll be ready in the matter of the next couple of minutes, so for now sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us. And if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our channel cabin crew. Thank you very much for your attention and again welcome on board. Okay, so that's the cabin dealt with. Then let's go ahead and read the checklists. That's circuit breakers checked, fuel levers shut, landing gear selected down, battery on, APU on, IRS nav, emergency lights armed, exterior lights set, emergency equipment checked, oxygen checked, MFDs on, test panel checked, flight recorder on, aircraft documents on board, circuit breakers checked, pins and covers on board, oxygen on, overhead panel checked, main instrument panel checked, altimeters. QNH 1021, reading 1400. Pedestal check, parking brake set, fuel quantity 4,570 kilograms, serviceability checked, crew briefing completed, preparation checklists complete. Okay then, what do we have here? I think the position is ready, is it? Yeah, no pushback, no nothing. That looks good. By the way, the terrain looks fantastic in the back there, doesn't it? Swiss 9 Hotel, request engine startup. In the real world, the call is request startup, but it seems the AI has... the occasional problem there, understanding when I say that. Engine start approved, Swiss 9 Hotel. Okay. Oh, that power should have been removed. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's interesting. Must be a little bug involved with that. Now it's gone. Okay, no questions asked. In that case, before start checklist. So, seatbelts on, fuel panel set, window and probe heat on, takeoff data checked and set, transponder on, windows and doors closed, arm slides.
Turkish 6 November uniform, cleared for push start.
Is announced and the beacon on, before start checklist complete.
Turkish 6 November uniform.
So, ground from cockpit, starting engines 2 and 1 in that sequence, we'll commence engine 2 now. And 2. And 1. Oil pressure. And that's a good start too, starting 1. And 2. And 1. Oil pressure.
We recommend keeping your seatbelt fastened at all times when sitting, even when the seatbelt sign is on. This aircraft has a number of emergency exits.
Turkish 6 November uniform, give way to the Finnair Embraer 190 on your left.
Take a moment to locate your nearest exit. Remember,
Giving way to the Finnair Embraer 190.
Alright,
November uniform.
we have 2 good starts, clear disconnect, clear signal on the left please, and have a good day, bye bye.
pull the vest over your head, fasten the straps around your waist, and pull to tighten. Inflate the vest by pulling the rope.
Swiss 2 Echo Zulu, contact tower on 118.7.
Alright, flaps are gonna remain up, and for the trim, it's 18.9. So the trim speed has been reduced quite a bit in the release version compared to the earlier version I had. Therefore, we should have a much easier feeling during the flight now. Okay, so before taxi checklist. RTI is off, APU off, alert lights out, flaps 0, trims 18.9, ground curtain removed, before taxi checklist complete. Swiss 9 Hotel, request taxi, able intersection Bravo. Let's see if he understands that on the initial taxi request, or if he sends us full length anyway.
Swiss 9 Hotel, runway 22 taxi via inner taxiway, link 4, outer taxiway, Alpha Bravo.
Swiss 9 Hotel, taxi runway 22 via inner, link 4, outer, Alpha and Bravo. So that sounds quite good. So we're gonna go straight ahead onto the inner, link 4, outer, Alpha and Bravo. Perfect. So we got the taxi all the way to the intersection straight away. Looks good. Taxi light on. This plane has one. Park and brake off. Let's go. The left side is clear. And the right side is clear. Brake check. Brakes okay. Alright, fantastic. Then we're on our way. Looks like a pretty tight apron. All those A320s over there.
Top Swiss 79er Echo, Romeo, push and start approved.
Push back and start approved. Top Swiss 79er Echo, Romeo.
Top Swiss, that's got to be one of the easy jets over there. But I think link 4 is already the next taxiway on the left, so that should not be a problem for us. What are you doing? No comment on that vehicle. So here's link 4. The left side is clear, that Turkish doesn't concern us, as he's going into another direction.
Cabin is secure.
Thank you. Okay, then let's go onto the outer.
577, cleared for push and start.
Pretty busy here, isn't it? Okay, so let's see, we got no initial speed restriction, then we can set 250 up here straight away. Then let's do the taxi procedure.
79er Echo, Romeo, ready to taxi.
So, arming you.
Top Swiss 79er Echo, Romeo, runway 22 taxi.
Go idle for a second.
Link 5, outer taxiway, Alpha.
Runway 22 taxi via inner taxiway, link 5, outer
Okay,
taxiway,
so,
Alpha, Top Swiss 79er
flight
Echo,
control.
Romeo.
Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral. And the rudder works, we know that because we could take some turns. And that is looking fantastic. So, let's go for the taxi out checklist. Nav systems are set, FMP set, fuel levers open, lift dumpers armed, transponder set, flight controls checked, taxi out checklist complete. Okay, there is an airplane on the full length, then there is no sense for us to go to the intersection.
Swiss 9 Hotel, contact tower on 118.705. Safe flight.
118.705, Swiss 9 Hotel. Geneva Tower, Swiss 9 Hotel, ready for departure. Let's see, maybe he cuts us short in front of the guy?
Swiss 9 Hotel, Geneva Tower, runway 22, winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 22, cleared for takeoff, Swiss 9 Hotel. Fantastic. Okay. The cabin crew is seated, the approach area is clear.
2.
Checked. Okay, before takeoff checklist, cabin ready, takeoff config. Normal. Then, strobe brakes checked, strobes on, transponder Tara, weather radar on, crew briefing completed, and takeoff clearance received. Before takeoff checklist, complete. So, not gonna waste any runway. And then, are you ready for a rolling takeoff? Sounds good.
On runway 22.
Checked and takeoff.
Flaps.
No flaps. We are certified to take off like that. Gonna turn that off in RAS.
Eight knots.
Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up. So, 15 degrees pitch seems to work pretty well on the Fokker 100, 18 on the 70.
Finnair 53 Yankee at 22, ready when able. Finnair 53 Yankee, winds calm, runway 22
Okay,
cleared for
autopilot.
takeoff. 22 cleared for takeoff, Finnair 53 Yankee, thanks.
Fine thrust.
Swiss 9er Hotel, contact Geneva, final departure on 119.53.
119.53, Swiss 9 Hotel. Geneva, bonjour, Swiss 9 Hotel, passing 3,500, climbing 5,000.
Swiss 9 Hotel, Geneva final departure identified. Climb flight level 140 direct pass.
Climb flight level 140 and direct to us. Swiss 9 Hotel. I guess he means Argus, huh? So, direct to Argus. And then we're passing the acceleration altitude.
Radar on 126.05.
126.05, Swiss 9 Hotel. Swiss radar, good afternoon. Swiss 9 Hotel, passing 5,100, climbing level 140. So we don't need that timer any longer.
Identified. Good evening, Sanjani Pueli, QNH 1021.
1021, Swiss 9 Hotel. Alright. So, don't need that taxi light any longer, nor the middle landing light. Let's save that bit of fuel. That looks pretty fantastic, doesn't it? Now here's the reason why the standard departure wouldn't turn you to the right before 7,000 feet. Over here you just got that small hill. Over here you got the little larger one.
Swiss 9 Hotel, contact Marseille, control on 126.705.
126.705, Swiss 9 Hotel. And lots of handovers here. Marseille control, bonjour, Swiss 9 Hotel, passing 7,600, climbing flight level 140.
control identified. Good evening, climb flight level 230.
Climbing flight level 230, Swiss 9 Auto. Set 230 checked. Set standard. Standard cross check, passing flight level 87 now. Checked. After takeoff checklist, altimeter standard set, MFDs checked, after takeoff checklist complete. Alright, couple altitude restrictions there, but it seems to have no problems meeting those. Argus 13,000. Yeah, depending on the acceleration, that might turn out a little problem. So tell you what, let's actually go level change, maintain the 250 until we are sure that we're going to be able to pass Argus above 13,000. I mean, I do think it is just a political constraint because, you know, looking out there, there is no mountains or something that would warrant that restriction, but even if it's just a political one, let's maintain that rate of climb anyway to meet it. So, going through 10,000, lights are coming off, seatbelts off, and that's it. Now let's just go ahead and turn a couple of those backlights on here. The sun is slowly getting low. That's looking nicer, isn't it? Especially when looking up here at the overhead panel. So, 23 degrees in the cabin now. Flight deck 22. I can actually turn that up a little here in the flight deck. Like that. That is good. So in aircraft, people normally like something about 24 degrees the most, because you are always exposed to the air coming out of the duct and not that much to the air coming straight from the cabin. Therefore, you know, while 21 is normally the optimum in a room or on the outside, in an airplane it's more like 24 degrees when people feel happy. There are a couple of guys in the comments who don't believe me when I say that regularly, and who are always like, no, that can't be, blah blah blah. And then I'm always like, alright, you're gonna explain the flight attendant, I don't care. Alright, here's 13, so we got the Argus restriction, then we got Depool in 15,000 as well. So I'd say we're gonna maintain that speed until Depool as well, just to be sure that we meet the constraint. Honestly, guys, I like flying an airplane where you gotta think about stuff like that. You know, flying your average A320, it's always like, yeah, okay, no problem whatsoever anyway. Swiss 9-hour hotel, any chance to proceed direct T-pick? As that would be a nice shortcut.
Hotel clear direct T-pick.
Good direct T-pick, Swiss 9 hotel, thank you. Fantastic. So, T-pick. Why is it not drawing the line? Here we go, that's better. So that's a nice little shortcut, shoving off a couple of minutes. And since we no longer have that altitude restriction, let's go into profile mode again and start the acceleration. Just gotta love that view. Seriously guys, I could get very used to flying this airplane. It's a fantastic design, very intuitive flight deck. Once you find your way around it, it's really a lot of fun to operate.
Easy 3071, flight level 360.
Alright, so do we have to up a descent somewhere? Yeah, up there, 100 and a bit miles out. So we have just about enough time to climb up to the cruise level. Let's also go ahead and lower that weather radar tilt a bit. Just about enough time to climb up to the cruise level, drink a coffee, and then we're already gonna start the approach preparations once again. Okay, tell you what, let's use that time.
Marseille Control, Scandinavian 67 Whiskey, flight level 3.
So, for the star, Abdel 8 Romeo, and we're flying inbound to Tipeg down there.
Continue.
And the approach is going to be the ILS Zulu runway 4 left, and then we also need the airport and the parking stands. Atus 13658. Now, just for reference, dedicated frequencies for the English and the French Atus. They need to do that at every airport. So annoying when you try to listen to a voice Atus and it starts Nice, Information Alpha, runway in use, à gauche. You know what I'm talking about. Every pilot knows exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so here's that. Do have the standard outbound from Côte d'Azur NDB, and thereafter we fly ourselves onto the final approach. With that, the star charts are ready, and then we can start the approach preparation right away. Now, it is lovely seeing the Alps from down here. The best I've had so far with the Alps was a scenario where one of our packs was inoperative back in the days on the Boeing 737, and therefore we couldn't climb above flight level 240. And then we flew all the way from Palma de Mallorca back home to Cologne in flight level 240. And I tell you guys, the view on the Alps was amazing from that altitude. Absolutely amazing. On top of that, with Costa NX6 and flight level 240, the 737 flies something like 230, 240 knots indicated. So you can take all the time in the world to monitor that terrain outside as well. That was so cool. So cool. Alright, pass number 200, differential pressures building, cabin is climbing, that's all looking fantastic. Okay. So, about another 2 minutes until we reach cruising altitude. Let's get the flight plan. Top climb, 14 minutes, 3.1. Yeah, 14 sounds pretty accurate. 3.1 does as well. I mean, we'll probably have those 500 kilos extra again that we somehow always seem to have with the current SimBrief profile. So I'm starting to think that there is something a little bit wrong with the SimBrief profile there. But I've already told JustFlight about it. They said that they're investigating it. So I guess we are going to find out how good or not that SimBrief profile really is. And if there is any change needed, they are going to initiate it. Approaching.
Marseille Control, good evening, Air Nostrum 11 November, Yankee flight level 230.
Vertical speed.
Air Nostrum 11 November.
What's our cruising speed going to be?
Identified. Good evening.
275. Now let's just dial that up straight away. Remember guys, when approaching cleared altitude, we are always reducing our vertical speed. 3,000 to go, maximum 3,000 feet a minute, 2,000, 2,000, and 1,000 to go, maximum 1,000 feet a minute. Now the Fokker is not exactly an airplane where you would, you know, expect an excessive rate of climbs. However, just in order to avoid any potential TCAS conflicts, we are reducing that rate of climb. Alright, and right back in profile mode. Here we are. Fantastic, so top of climb. A minute quicker than planned, and again, those 500 kilos extra fuel. So be it, can live with that. That is fine. Alright then, let's go ahead and go right into the approach preparation. Starting with Nice, elevation 11. And turn that all the way down to 0. Then let's go ahead and start feeding the FMS. Here's the wind data block. Only need 310, so we start at 200, 278 at 6. Then 150, 229 at 7. 100, 315 at 14. And then let's get the Asus to find out what it is on the ground.
NH1019er. Transition level 70. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. FOD walk in progress on the east ramp. Expect brief delays. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo. Nice code Dazur Airport. Information Romeo. 0630 Zulu. Arriving runway 04 left. Departing runway 04 right. Wind 340 at 10. Cab OK. Temperature 29er, dew point 16. QNH1019er. Transition level 70. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. FOD walk in progress on the east ramp. Expect brief delays. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo.
Okay, cool. So Asus Romeo is on board.
Information.
Alright, so that's Romeo 04 left and right, 340 at 10, Carbog 29, and a QNH of 1019er.
Scandinavian 67.
Like that. The rest is easy. So landing performance, LFMN.
32.705. Scandinavian 67.
4 left, good, auto brake low, operative.
Control, good evening.
Then we've got 340, no, not you, at 10, I think. QNH 1019, and the temperature is 29 degrees. Okay, pretty sure it's gonna be flaps 25, but let's find out. Landing weight 36.6. Surprise, we can land. 8,622 meters? I don't think so. That looks better. Okay, so that's all looking good. So auto brake low. Flaps 25, wind correction is not required, 142 final approach speed. Looks good, go around, we'll use 1000, 1000.
132.705 for Royal Air Maroc 230.
Why is that out of range?
Lima, uniform contact, Barcelona control on 133.
Well, then we're going to use the automatic figures. Or do we have to do thrust reduction first? Nope. Okay. Since this originally took over the figures from our departure, I have a feeling that this doesn't let me enter anything below the Geneva field elevation. Let's see, if we do 1500, yeah. See, 1500 is above the field elevation of our departure airport, so probably a little bug involved over there. So, we do not need that any longer. Then let's start looking at our approach charts. So, Updeal 8 Romeo arrival. We start at Updeal, G-Roll, Amphu, and then Tipik. We are already flying direct to Tipik, and that's maximum 250 below level 120. And we got that, and then we proceed to Côte d'Azur NDB, which is above 8,000 feet, and that's looking good. Then we're going to proceed on to the ILS approach. Initially 090 outbound Côte d'Azur, And we got that, 090 onto the manual termination. And then the approach starts from Lempu, max 200, 4000, to the Fox India. Do we have vertical profile somewhere? Yes, we do, in a very strange location. Fox India, 4000 and 3-degree glide. So we got Lempu, 200, 4000, Fox India, and then 3 degrees down to the runway. And the missed approach, climb on radial 04, climb on track 042, 1.2 DME from the ILS, turn right 140, passing up to 3000 and follow ATC instructions. Okay, and we got 042 to the alpha point and thereafter the heading, like you see it over here. Alright, that is looking good for me. So we got that stuff. For the minimum, category Charlie, 311. So I'll have to call it 320 over here. What else do we need? 10995-042. Like that. Squawk machine below, and that's pretty much it. Weather radar slightly below, please. And with that, I think we finished our setup.
Switching to Barcelona control on
Let's see, 142.
Air France 86 Lima Papa.
Like that. The green dot is 172, so 192 and 162 for the others. That's for the flap speeds. Okay, fantastic. So we've set all of that stuff up. We've done our calculations. Then I think we can safely start with the approach briefing. So this is going to be an ILS approach, runway 04 left at Nice Côte d'Azur, and we are going to fly that joining the standard arrival, most likely radar vectors for the rest of it. And we are starting in 4000 with an MSA up to 7500, down to the minimum of 320, the go-around straight at 1.2 DME, right turn 140, climbing 3000, and extra fuel and time. Should be a little bit right now, let's see. Yep, 35 minutes. Alright, thanks for that. Now the approach is going to be flight director guided down onto the ILS, runway 04 left, flaps 25, auto brake low, and we are going to vacate the runway to the left hand side by using maximum reverse, or actually by using idle reverse. Now, standard taxi and no hotspots, and I've got nothing special, nothing non-standard. Threats for the arrival? Well, no. Okay, fantastic. So that's our approach briefing completed. Then let's say goodbye to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, your captain speaking with a quick update on our flight's progress. In a few minutes we will leave our cruising altitude and start the descent towards Nice. The weather over there is very nice, clear skies and a temperature of 29 degrees. Thank you very much for choosing to fly Swiss today. We hope you enjoyed the flight as much as we did and look forward to welcome you all again in the future. Thank you very much for your attention and we look forward to see you all again soon. Alright, so the cabin is briefed. We've got everything done over here. So, descent checklist. Terrain clearance, FMS position checked, weather radar on, pressurization is landing altitude set, MFDs checked, approach preparation completed, and that's the descent checklist complete. Alright, so far so easy. It's a fantastic view, isn't it? Especially with that other aircraft on the top there. Swiss 9 Hotel via the Abdul 8 Romeo, descending at flight level 90. Actually, flight level 80, Swiss 9 Hotel. Alright, 8,000 check, descent blue. Then let's just get another fuel check in. This time at the top of descent. 37 minutes, 2.4. No. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's easy. Okay, good. Then we are gonna start the descent on our own terms here in just a few moments when we reach the top of descent. And I tell you what, guys, before we leave our cruising altitude, let's turn the fasten seatbelt sign on already, and then we can quickly go somewhere. So, you have control, you have everything. So, first officer has everything, and we gotta take a very important break over here. And I'll be right back.
Swiss Niner Hotel, traffic at your 12 o'clock 4 miles, at flight level 200-300.
Looking Swiss Niner Hotel.
Ryanair 3 Golf Victor, Marseille Control, Roger. Wizz Air 3384, contact Barcelona Control on 131.38.
131.38, Wizz Air 3384, see ya.
Marseille Control.
So at this point I would of course have updated our cabin crew with the estimated time of arrival and stuff like that, because we did turn the fasten seatbelt sign on at a non-standard time. Alright, so let's take a seat again. Flight deck door is locked. Okay, any updates? Might be a good moment to talk about what you do when a pilot leaves the flight deck and re-enters the flight deck.
Swiss Niner Hotel, contact Nice approach on 120.16.
Contacting Nice approach on 120.16. Swiss Niner Hotel.
Alright, it's my radios again. Nice approach, Swiss 9 Hotel, passing level 174, descending flight level 80.
Swiss 9 Hotel, Nice approach, identified. Bonsoir, pilot cleared MUS transition. Expect the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach into Nice. Verify information Romeo.
Swiss 9 Hotel, we have information Romeo, expect the ILS Yankee runway 04 left via Mike Uniform Sierra.
Swiss 9 Hotel, descend flight level 80.
Descending flight level 80, Swiss 9 Hotel. Okay, fantastic. So, just to get you into the loop again, our first officer would now tell us...
9 Hotel, contact Marseille Control on 126.155.
126.155, Swiss 9 Hotel. Marseille, bonjour, Swiss 9 Hotel, flight level 157, descending flight level 80. See, this is why I would normally try to take the bathroom break in cruise and not, you know, right in the descent. But on short flights like this, sometimes you're just gonna make a compromise. Alright, anyway, so when you come, well, before you go out from flight deck, you would obviously give your colleague a whole briefing on what's currently going on. I mean, in this case, since we were already approaching a sterile phase of flight, she knew, so I didn't have to tell her, like, okay, we're flying straight in the autopilot. No, she knew that. And yeah, then she takes the controls, we can head out, and when we come back, take a seat, get strapped in again.
Descent altitude 4,000 feet.
Descent altitude 4,000 feet, Swiss Hotel. Set, 4,000 checked, set QNH. QNH 1019, cross-check, passing fit, 12,800. Now. Checked. Okay, good. So, at this point, we would, of course, have gotten a briefing from our first officer, who would have told us, like, okay, so, you know, nothing happened, or something happened, new frequency, whatever.
Swiss Niner Hotel, cleared for the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach via MUS.
Mike Uniform Sierra joining the ILS 04 left Swiss 9 Hotel. And then we could take the controls back. So that's pretty much what a standard approach, or a standard I go to the toilet chain looks like on an aircraft.
Control, good evening, LWG 19 Bravo, flight level 310.
Okay.
LWG 19 Bravo, Marseille control identified, continue.
So speeds come back towards 250. That's all looking fantastic. Then we can already read the approach checklist. So, seatbelts on, approach settings checked and set, crew briefing completed, altimeters, QNH 1019er, and that's the approach checklist complete.
Air Portugal 939er, contact Barcelona control on 133.08.
And then we are approaching 10,000. So, lights, signs, and approach. Okay. Looking good. Not getting, not receiving the ILS just yet, but that's kinda expected. Let's have a look down here. 090 outbound from Mike Uniform Sierra. I want to see how well the aircraft is going to fly that on its own. So we'll just let her fly over Mike Uniform Sierra in nav mode, and then I want to see that heading 090. In an optimal case, we won't need to do, like, almost anything manually, but let's see how that's going to turn out. Also, once again, you may have noticed that air traffic control told us to expect the ILS Yankee approach. Now, in the real world, it's usually the Zulu approaches in Europe. For that reason, I'm going to fly the Zulu approach here as well. If we just have a quick look into the chart for the Yankee approach, though. You can see it's pretty much the same. It's Mike Uniform Sierra outbound 087, intercept the final. You see? Pretty much no difference. Missed approach is a little bit different, but again, I'm not going to do that. We are going to fly the Zulu.
Swiss Niner Hotel, turn left heading 060. Vectors for the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach.
Oh, okay. Left 060, Swiss Niner Hotel. Okay, so too bad, I was just about to see, but I think it kinda had turned onto the heading already. Gonna have to review the footage over here, but I think it was fine. Okay, so right over the shoreline. I'm fairly sure there will be many people who are not gonna like that.
Bravo, flight level 370.
Vertical speed.
Romeo Bravo, Marcel control identified. Proceed on course.
I think if I remember correctly, then the ILS does come in pretty late here in Nice. 109.95, and that's definitely tuned. November India is going to be the ident.
Swiss 9 Hotel, speed 195 knots.
Speed 195, Swiss 9 Hotel. It's kind of interesting that Say Intentions always uses those 5s, you know? On headings they often do, on speeds they often do. In the real world it's usually always a 0 at the end. If they can, you know, reasonably make that happen. Okay, so we are receiving the ILS.
Hotel, 12 miles from Foxtrot India 04 Lima. Turn right heading 070. Cleared for the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach.
Right 070, cleared ILS Yankee 04 left, Swiss 9 Hotel. Again, gonna stick to the Zulu.
Marcel Control, good evening, Tenair 701, flight level 360.
And there's lock armed. Why does the land light come on with that? Did do that in earlier versions. Because I did not arm the land mode intentionally here, because we are not receiving any glide slope yet. So in order to prevent the aircraft from giving us any strange inputs, you know, like when you receive a faulty glide slope signal, that it doesn't try to follow that. Alright, let's do a level change once again, so that we actually reach those 195 knots. So, tower is going to be 18.7. Let's pre-select that. Here we go. Alright, and there's the glide slope. And then, let's have some fun. So, manual flight. They did say that they worked on the trims for a little bit, so let's just see. And indeed, it's by far not as responsive any longer as it used to be earlier, and that is a very good thing. Very, very good thing. So let's clean up the FMS so that we actually do have guidance available later. Here's a dark lampu. You gotta keep descending though. That's why you got a pilot monitoring in the real world, so that you don't have to do all that stuff yourself. There's still a pretty strong response in the pitching of the aircraft when you change your engine thrust, but then again, that could be pretty realistic. Alright, localizer capture. And glide slope star. Let me establish first. Glide slope.
Swiss 9 Hotel, contact Nice Tower on 118.7 when established.
118.7, Swiss 9 Hotel. And go around altitude set. Nice Tower, good afternoon, Swiss 9 Hotel, established ILS 04 left.
Swiss 9 Hotel, Nice Tower, runway 04 left, wind 340 at 10, clear to land.
Runway 04 left, clear to land, Swiss 9 Hotel. Okay, let's slowly start slowing down her here. Flaps 8. Let's do something like 160 until 4, just to make it a bit more fun. Alright, gear down. Flaps 15. And flaps 25. So we set 160 until 4, then let's fly 160 until 4. I mean, that's not... We didn't get that from ATC this time, but in the real world you often do. And therefore, I'm gonna go for that over here as well. Alright, landing checklist. Cabin. Nope, didn't do that yet. So, cabin 1, altimeters 1019, missed approach altitude 3000 set, gear down, lift dumpers armed, flaps 25. Landing checklist complete.
Cabin is cleared for arrival.
Thank you. So my first impression here is that the plane has gotten a lot more stable with the reduction in the trim speed. Compared to the earlier versions of the aircraft, to the pre-release press copies, they've really done some more work on that. They heard the feedback that you guys gave. Alright. So let's start slowing down. We're looking for a final approach speed of 141. And that is set. No, we have the flaps. Okay, I gotta turn RAS off over here. Apparently it doesn't seem to like the Fokker's configuration. But I'm sure that Land 3 Simulation is gonna update VRAS pretty quickly. They always do, and it always happens on the background. That's why you never notice, but they do a lot of updates to that add-on.
500. Above.
Checked. Look at how precisely we can fly her now. That's a huge improvement over the pre-release press copy. Continue. That's a really nice flight dynamic, actually. I do really enjoy that now. Barely need any inputs, you can see it on my yoke at the bottom of the screen.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Reverse.
And here we are.
Knots.
Alright, that was a beautiful landing.
Swiss Niner Hotel, exit at Echo Golf if able. Contact ground on 121.705.
121.705, Swiss Niner Hotel, bye-bye. East ground, Swiss 9 Hotel, runway vacated. So, think that frequency, yeah, 705, not 905.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice ground, Swiss 9 Hotel, request taxi to the gate. Taxi in checklist, exterior lights set, APU on, weather radar off, transponder XP and DR, speed brake in, flaps
Swiss 9 Hotel,
up, lift jumpers
terminal,
in.
Gate 10A via Golf 1, Golf Tango, good day.
108 via Golf 1, Golf Tango, Swiss 1, correction, 9 Hotel, bye bye. Okay, easy going. So, gate 108. Like wherever. Oh, 10 Alpha. Okay, so on the line over there. So, Golf 1, Golf, Tango. Alright, so they want us to go straight ahead here. And yes, the music belongs to the airplane. I know a couple of you guys said you were wondering, like, where does the music come from all of a sudden? It is from the airplane. Okay, so let's see if we can actually select that gate here. Of course we cannot.
Cleared for push and start.
Roger. Pushback approved. Easy 82, Whiskey Lima.
Okay, so here is Tango. Then I'm just gonna try that again in the background this time, using the select from map option. And GSX only has 10 Charlie. I'll tell you what, then I'm going to use 10 Charlie, and we are of course going to use the jetway for that. Alright, so that was a pretty enjoyable flight. Let's quickly talk about what happened. Now,
Two Echo doors closed, ready for push.
very nice departure, everything straightforward, and absolutely nothing to complain about. Then for the cruise, everything's been smooth as well, and finally our arrival into Nice, fantastic as well. Good vectoring from our traffic controller as well, that was really nice vector. Okay, so here's 10 Alpha, that's not ours, we're gonna go into 10 Charlie. Due to GSX, 10 Alpha according to ATC, but I don't care. So then, lights off, and there's 10 Charlie. So yeah, overall a thoroughly enjoyable flight. Lots of great last-minute changes between the pre-release and the release version of the Fokker, and it's a fantastic airplane to fly. Okay, so that guidance system is bucked up. I'm just gonna stop over here, that's gonna be fine. So, park and brake set, APU available.
Runway 4 right taxi via Tango, Charlie, Uniform Alpha, Alpha 1. Hold short at runway 4 left, Easy 82, Whiskey Lima.
Okay. So, 2000 standby, let's call for deboarding. Let's remove that click spot blocker. And here we go. Actually, I think we can leave the strobes in auto over here. Alright, cool. So let's do the after parking checklist. Park and brake set, distance lights announced, fuel levers shut, transponder is on standby, seatbelts off, exterior lights set, anti-ice off, fuel pumps off, window and probe heat off, after parking checklist complete. So, external power is connected, and we are going to put that online. However, it looks like we do not have an air conditioning unit over here, so I am going to leave the APU on with those temperatures here. I mean, it's 30 degrees outside, so definitely going to keep the APU. Well guys, and that's what I can offer you for now. Thank you very much for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed the flight as much as I did. I've had a blast at this one. Looking forward to see you all again on the next one. In the meantime, like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, then I see you all very soon on the next flight.